I was going on a camping trip with my best friend. I call him Henry. We'd done a few trips before, but still considered ourselves new to it. Nothing too crazy, usually just local campgrounds with other people around. But this time, we felt confident enough for something more adventurous. We wanted an actual campsite with a view, deeper in the forest. Real camping. We found a place about 3 hours from us. It required a 4-hour hike into the forest. There were only a couple photos from previous campers, so it didn't seem busy. We drove down prepared for 3 days. There was a small dirt area at the end of an otherwise unused road in the middle of the forest. Nobody else was parked there. The trail looked like it had once been an actual trail, but it hadn't been maintained. Some parts were overgrown and weathered. It looked abandoned for years. Still, we kept walking. The trail thinned out as we went deeper. Around mid-afternoon, we reached the campsite, just a grassy area on top of a small hill with a decent overlook of the forest. Very secluded. Nobody was there, and from the looks of it, nobody had been there in a long time. We set up our tents. Henry was taking longer than me, so I walked to the overlook to enjoy the view. While there, I noticed movement in the trees below. It was hard to see through the dense branches, but I caught a glimpse of a group of people walking, maybe 4 or 5 of them. I was surprised to see anyone out here, especially not at the campsite. I couldn't tell if they were campers or hikers. I tried pointing them out to Henry, but by the time he came over, they were gone. We hung out for the next few hours until sunset. We built a small campfire and sat around it. The night was calm at first, just us talking and the crackling fire. Then we heard something else. Faint voices, multiple people talking back and forth. We couldn't tell what they were saying, or even if they were speaking our language. The sound came from way out in the trees. Henry and I just listened. The voices didn't seem to move. They stayed in one spot until suddenly going quiet. The next minute was unnerving. No fading, they just stopped. Then came footsteps. One said, walking toward us. A man emerged from the dark into our firelight. He wore a distinct red baseball cap and had longish wavy black hair. His smile was wide as he approached. Either of you know where the trail is around here? I've been looking for a while. I pointed ahead. Yeah. When he didn't leave, I asked if the others out there were with him. His face fell flat for a moment, then he smiled again. I didn't know there were others out here. I've just been hiking alone. I would have asked them for directions if I saw them. It was strange. I was almost sure he was lying. He came from the same direction we'd heard the voices. I just said, okay. He smiled and left down the trail. Henry thought the same as me. The guy was lying. No way he came from that area and didn't notice a group of people. But the more unsettling question was, why lie? Why not tell us about the others? We discussed this by the campfire for maybe 30 minutes, trying to figure out what was going on. The whole time, it felt like we were being watched. I kept turning around, looking at the forest and the trail. Something felt wrong. Being this far out for the first time, nerves were already high. Should we just leave? Henry finally said in a shaken voice. After some thought, I said yes. We started packing, but that eerie feeling only grew stronger. Just as we threw our bags on our shoulders and stomped out the fire, a single footstep crunched in the leaves behind me. We both swung around. Without the fire, it was pitch black. The woods were eerily quiet. My shaky hand reached into my backpack and pulled out my flashlight. I pointed it and clicked it on. Standing only 10 or 15 feet in front of me was the same guy with the red baseball hat. He stood perfectly still, already looking at us with a blank stare. As I held the light on him, he made that same wide smile. In a panic, I turned off the light and we both sprinted to the trail. I could hear multiple footsteps chasing behind us, some running through the woods beside us. Slowly, they faded out. Eventually, it was just us two running down the dark trail. We made it back to the car unharmed, got in and drove away. We were both pretty shaken for a while after that. Honestly, I have no idea what was going on there. Why was anyone there at all? It's been a long time since this happened, and we haven't been camping since. I don't know if we ever will.